First of all, I want to appreciate you for talking to us. The channel is called Moving Pictures Kenya, and the program is called Eyeing the Dream. So basically, I feature many different Kenyans who are in the US here, how they came here, and how their journey to achieve their dreams. So maybe you can start by introducing yourself and how you found yourself here in the US.
Okay, thank you so much, and I appreciate for this opportunity to share about my journey to the US. My name is Reverend Godfrey Gakuru. My dream to come to the US, not generally, not simply US, but going abroad, came in my mind from the early days, but I actualized it, especially when I purposed and decided I want to specifically come to the US after my university. Yes.
Okay, so you are calling yourself a reverend. Did you come as a preacher or as a student or as somebody who came to work?
Sure. I am a reverend with the Methodist Church in Kenya, and coming here to me was individual support or personal effort, because it was about my own effort to apply to the school. So like the fact that I am a reverend, it doesn't mean like somebody came up and did the application to come to school for me, but of course it gave me an opportunity to interact with many, especially clergy people who have studied abroad, because the person who connected me to come to the US is studied in Norway, but had connections with the US schools and friends who are students here. So I found my way here through personal effort and cultivating that personal spirit to achieve. Yeah.
Okay, so I know, having been here for some time, most likely you know the different ways of how somebody can come in the US. Maybe you can enlighten a Kenyan or an African who is out there who wants to come to the US. What are the ways that somebody can use to come to the US?
I think one of the best ways of explaining this is giving us a short story of my journey of coming here. So as I give this story, then someone can get in few things that they can do individually to come. So first of all, I would say it begins with the personal effort, where like the first thing you need is always have a passport. Always be prepared to have a passport. So when you have that, apply to schools. So the other thing that is very important is the connection. You need the right people to tell you the right schools, because of course there are many schools, but I'm saying the right schools because not all the schools in the US have grants, and not all the schools have the same kind of equal grants. Some schools will give you full scholarship, other schools will give you partial, which is maybe 50%, and this is what I did. I came here with a 50% scholarship, and I was in one of the most expensive schools. I'm saying I was, because I will elaborate in this journey, I was in Emory University. I think people know where we have the CDC, Center of Control of Diseases in the whole world, and that's where the school is located in Atlanta, Georgia. So I came with 50% scholarship, which was like very worrying to many of my friends and family. Like, how do you survive when you go there? So when you have the right connection, like now we have, remind me the name of the media again?
Moving Pictures Kenya.
So we have Moving Pictures Kenya media. So when you have such connections, for example, if you listen to this clip and chat them, Moving Pictures Media Kenya, when you chat them, they can now get into connection with me, they can get you to connection with other people. So you need the right connection. So when you have that, then I'm saying the right connection because you need to apply to the school. However, you can also, of course, Google the best schools. Maybe you want to do engineering, you can Google Bachelor of Engineering, Masters of Engineering, PhD in engineering. Then the schools will come, and maybe you can select the states where you want to go. For example, you may say I want to go to Illinois State, so you say Masters of Engineering, Illinois State University. Then there are many schools in Illinois that will come there. So you can have that, but the application process might be challenging, and so you need someone to work with you to tell you, okay, from this step you can do this, you can do this. Maybe there are schools that you need, for example, TOEFL or IELTS, and some other schools will not need that. And so in this process, you look for advice to see whether the school can do a waiver for that, and others will not do a waiver for that. So simply, I came to Emory University. I applied for Masters in Divinity. I studied for 1 year because I've said again, of course, you have to pay the fees. That's a reality. So I paid 1.2 million. In fact, it was 12,000 US dollars. So that maybe that's 1.4, and that was specifically 1.4 million. That was specifically the fees. I didn't mention the rent. The rent was like 900 US dollars a month, and I've not mentioned transport. I've not mentioned food. So I think I can say clear in that one here, from 2021 to 2022, I spent close to 2 million. That's personal money. So so you have to prepare for all this. Okay, so what did I do? And could I move on? It was very challenging. So what I did, I looked for a school that can offer me a full scholarship. So again, connection. I look for people, talk to them, and told me, okay, there's a school in Ohio. It's called Methodist Theological School. The same program, and they gave me full scholarship. And with many other opportunities, like within the school has a lot of opportunities. Maybe there are schools with hostels. They can even make you whatever house manager, get campus jobs. So that is how I moved here. So I came to Ohio from Atlanta, Georgia. So this is a secret. You can come to a school that gives you a very little scholarship, maybe 30%, and then you can, within when you're now in the States, you can work hard and look for schools that can give you more grants. So that's how I came here, and then from there, maybe now I can tell you specific steps that you can take to come here. Yeah.
I think you've talked about something like a work-study program.
Yes.
How does it work?
Work-study program is very important and very effective. So some of those who get worried about their life here, I talked about the much money I paid. But I will assure you, part of the money I paid, it was coming from the university, because the university gave me, because I came in, I think, a season when the schools have opportunities for student campus jobs, and that is elaborated in your I-20. Because after applying to the school gives you a document called I-20. So it is the I-20 that you use to go to the embassy and tell the embassy. The I-20 contains one bank statement to show that you have personal funds or family member, a relative, or a family friend, or maybe you're working in a company or an organization or a church that says, okay, I can pay your fees and I can support your fees. And maybe you have to prove that they have supported you before. You have to show that evidence. So the I-20 will show Reverend Godfrey Gakuru, this organization, this individual will pay this money for you. This individual has to do maybe signing of letters, and maybe the bank has to stamp. So the I-20 is the main document that brings you here. So in the I-20, some schools will tell you we'll give you a campus job. So what I did, I got a campus job that was giving me, for that time, Kenyan money is 50,000, maybe 70, 60,000, because it was $500 US dollars. Maybe you multiply in Kenyan to convert to Kenyan shillings. So I used to get that money per month. But I assure you, if you get 20 hours a week, you can earn very well 100,000 Kenyan money in a month. And so there are schools, let me tell you, that have international students that share the houses. So some schools you find students sharing, like you pay $300 and share maybe a house, and so you can navigate. So many schools in the US, they give international students jobs, and this is the amazing thing. During summer, long holidays or long breaks, you can work 40 hours a week. That means you're working like any other person in the US. So, and those are the best opportunity that I had for me to work during the holiday, where you work 40 hours a week. Maybe you're a student, maybe you can say earn $15 an hour. So by the end of this the summer session, you can even make money for the next semester. So, and that's one of the most important things to know, and an opportunity that is very important.
Yeah, I think before we go to housing, because we've talked about housing, I wanted us to talk about the jobs,
yes,
the work-study program.
Yes.
What kind of jobs does the student do?
Okay, as long as the university has a job, you can do anything. I think in Atlanta I was working in a chapel, of course, because it's related to my career. Of course, many employers within the campus still would want to see your skills. For example, you are a video person like you, you come to the school says, oh, we need some people on media. So maybe you have been, whatever course you do, you can also do the manual jobs like mowing. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine told me they were driving the school truck, Yeah, so you can do anything. You can go to the cafeteria, you can work, and most importantly, many of the schools will employ students in the library because I think they also consider the fact that you are a student doing to do some simple jobs, and there are also online jobs. Some students, like friends of mine, have gotten a job to work on grants, like you help the school to help like working online stuff and or connecting the people who, like there are many other jobs within the campus, but it's an open employment where you can do anything and you can work anywhere within the school as long as the school is employing. Some will work in the kitchen, some will work in even those offices. They are I also think people need to know about teaching assistants. You can be an assistant to a professor when they are maybe when the class is being the classes are going on, you can be setting up the cameras. There are many things that you can do that are very, very good. Yeah.
Okay. And now about housing, because I'm imagining somebody coming from Kenya, they do not know anybody in the US, maybe they've gotten a scholarship. So how does housing work?
It depends. Number one, I would say there are categories of students who come to study in the US. We have undergraduate students, that's degree or bachelor students. Those students in many schools in the US have housing for them because the schools give those students a priority. But we have what we call graduate students, master's students like me who come here. So many schools will not give a priority to graduate students because of course undergraduate students are many. And number two, I think in my own thinking is that because you're a graduate, you're a professional already. So they expect you to be mature enough to be able to navigate. So the graduate students find more challenges to finding housing than undergraduate students, but it depends with the school. There are schools with still houses for graduate students, and what I've also said again, you can okay, this is what schools does. If the schools do not have houses for graduate students, they partner with the the community. So they sign agreements. So you can find a neighborhood and you can get an apartment, and then there's a connection with the school because the school has to be like the kind of a guarantor. Yeah. So because you're a student, they have to show that. But you can live anywhere, you can live in any house, and but the fact is the housing is expensive. But again, I've said, when you plan yourself well, when you have the right people, there are many ways to make sure that you thrive and you do well in your academics and make sure that you complete your studies.
Yeah, and then one question that always comes up is, how can somebody convert a student visa to a work visa?
It's very easy. One of the things that is very clear in the US is that the legal system is very good. So as long as you're legal in the US as a student, I said again, remember you are allowed to work through the approval of the immigration that is showed in the I-20. So you get the social security number which allows you to work, and so because of that, after school you can apply for what you call OPT, optional practical training. That is given to there's some programs that will give you optional practical training for 3 years, and like for me, I have an optional practical training for 1 year. So this time the employer employs you like any other person, but the employer will always have this in mind that you are a student, but you have an agreement with the employer. Maybe you can agree with the employer that after the OPT expires, you're going to process my paperwork and give me the work permit. So that is how many people who came to the US and who have come to the US have been able to transit from student visa to study visa. You get the work permit, and it depends with the kind of the job you're doing. They have the names. Okay, I'm not local for the names they give for the work visa. I don't know, some people say HP1. I think I have to go through and do a research on that, but for me, I know that, for example, as a pastor, my work visa is called religious visa R1. So when you have the work visa, this visa has a condition. For example, it may expire after 2.5 years. Okay, so after the 2.5 years, again, is about the law. The law says, okay, you can reapply, like renew. So you renew again for 2.5 years, and the law is very specific. If they say you can renew, then no one will deny you the opportunity to renew. If they tell you from OPT you can get a work permit, then no one denies you that opportunity because you know where is your right. Okay, as long as you agree with the employer. But also know that many employers are looking for people to work for them. So that's a given. As long as you get the OPT, the employer gonna not release you, especially if you have a good person and you can show skills. And I want to conclude by saying, after you get for example, again the law, if you stay on a work permit for 3 years, for example, the law says you can apply green card. So who applies for the green card for you? The employer applied for work paper for you. The employer will help you get the green card. So you move from student F1 visa, you move to work permit, and then from the work permit you get the green card and you work. And from green card, how many years do you stay? And maybe is it 10, and then you become a citizen. So generally, if you follow the process, you do the right thing, especially as a student. I think the best way to work to have a good process is being faithful to yourself. And when you get the student visa, you remain faithful, do what is right, and then the other things take care of themselves.
Yeah, I know there are many Kenyans out there who want to come to the US for one reason or another, especially those who want to come and study. What is your message to them?
Before that, because I know I don't want to close this on, let me say that there are many privileges of being a student. Like, for example, when you get the social security number in America, like that's what allows you to work. You have the privileges to get the like credit like any other person. You have the of course you have some limitations. For example, you may not apply for a government loan for studies, but if you have a person like a family member or somebody willing to support you and they can be a consigner. By the way, that's one of the things. You can come to the US and then get a consigner and help you get a student loan that you can pay after school. You have an agreement with this person, and there are many Kenyan communities here that you can connect with. And but I want to say that there are many privileges. Like the other privilege is like when you have you're a student, you can buy a car. When you're a student, you have almost. I was looking at that. You have almost equal privileges, but of course, you're gonna remain on the right side always. So the other privilege is like you can also buy a house like another person, as long as you have a good credit and you get a consigner and build up your credit, and because your credit can grow up. Someone was telling me, as long as you are a student and you keep your credit well, you can have a credit of what the $10,000 by the time you graduate. And some people clear their fees through their credit, and when they get the work, when they get the job, then they will pay the credit card. So I want to encourage those who have a dream to come to stand in the US, that it is possible. You only need the right people, the right structure, the right mindset, and passion. And then get the right information, and no one should like mislead you, and you will make it here. The most important thing I also want to encourage, especially those who want to come here with families, because I know many friends of mine have told me, I want to come, but you know, I don't want to leave my spouse. You can come as a student in the US and carry your family. The person who connected me to come to the US came here with the wife and 2 other kids. So they were how many? The husband, the wife, and 2 kids. They were 4. So, and they came the same time, the same flight, because the spouse get what we call F2. So get F1 visa as a student, and then the family, not just specifically the wife, the kids and the family members who must be like very close. You call them nuclear, maybe the wife, the kids, not parents. So that family. So you cannot like bring your sister through the F2, but you can invite them. You can also leave your family and then do an invitation. They can come here, maybe stay for 6 months or 3 months, and then go back and all that. Maybe as you work out on the other process of bringing them. And remember also the most important thing, during graduation, you can bring a team. Maybe a team of church members, maybe a community. You can do a community visa and invite them as a group, and they can come and go back. So these are very good opportunities. Kenyans, maximize them, use them, listen to the media people. They are here sacrificing their time and giving themselves, giving you an opportunity. Please, if you have a passion, get in touch, be passionate, and you'll make it.
Okay, just before you conclude, in my search on YouTube, I saw somebody like you. So I don't know whether you have a YouTube channel or whether you are a musician or what you are doing on YouTube.
Okay, thank you so much. My YouTube channel is called, is under my name, Godfrey Gakuru. I am a gospel singer, and I also do motivational speaking. That is called life coach, and that's what I do most of the time when I'm not in the normal schedules. And yeah, it's an amazing experience. You can go to Godfrey Gakuru YouTube and you'll be blessed.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Godfrey. I think for all the viewers, you are welcome to subscribe to his channel and also invite him to give a motivational speech in whatever forum you want. You can see he has a lot of information, a lot of insights on how somebody can come to the US. So we thank you so much, and we'll always get in touch whenever we want more information.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Sana.
Karibu sana.
Asante.